could never have happened, without all those people contributing. They were so dedicated, and so many people gave, they gave everything. They gave their money, they gave their life, they gave everything to make Matrimandir happen. I arrived in Auroville shortly after the mother had passed away. It was in 1974 that I came.
I was 1985 for the first time in Pondicherry. Then there was one visit to Matrimandir.
In 1987, when I came here to do my training, internship as an architecture student, of course Matrimandir was under construction.
I moved to Auroville when I was 3. I remember being there as a child and just playing in and around, and like bonfires.
In my experience of Auroville, the thing that touched me the most in the first 6 months that I was here as a student was the bonfire.
I was so impressed with Matrimandir because it was out of place. It had no relevance to this peanut field on this barren plateau. And I understood why people said it's like something from outer space, and they were calling it a spaceship.
The main feeling, central feeling, is one of internal space to gain clarity or to kind of listen to my inner voice and or hopefully my inner silence if I can.
I think I lived in a very strong symbolic space, and for me I saw Matrimandir as a three-dimensional symbol of Mother's symbol.
What I've read is that Mother always said, build the Matrimandir first, and the city will come, and it just makes so much sense.
I believed in Mother's strategy that was to build Matrimandir first, because you can't build the city until you build Matrimandir, because the city needs a soul. So the question was, how do you build a soul? And she said, okay, all these people come here, they come from different cultures, how are they going to work together? The only way is to have a common project that is not part of their own thing, like building their own place. So if they're working for the community and they're working together, the Matrimandir, in its complication, will force them to work together, otherwise they won't be able to make it. They won't be able to get it together.
Also, the Matrimandir, having been built by so many generations of Aurovillians, is important. That kind of physical history of building a space has a lot of power, and then, of course, as we've developed and the methods of working have changed, and hired people coming in, but I think anyone taking part in the construction of the Matrimandir feels the impact it has on this community and hopefully the world at large. Such a genius, is materialized, and people really bring their life's purpose into reality by contributing to a project and not claiming any reward or praise or fame or something for it, but simply doing it out of the joy of giving to an ideal and an idea that's bigger than themselves.
As an architect, there's no other city that I know of which has a spiritual center. Any modern city. Of course, all the old cathedral and temple cities were built around spiritual centers. But today, to see, if you look around, it's just so amazing. We are very special. This is a city, it's an international city. It's survived 55 years, and growing. And also that it has this center, which is spiritual. It is really our cohesive force in a way. It's something that binds us all together.
I always see it as the soul of Auroville. I don't see it as a temple. I see it more as a cyclotron. It's a particle accelerator. It's an energy center. So energy is concentrated in the Matrimandir in order for anyone, any human being, because we're energetic bodies. So you take your energetic body in there, and so it aligns with that energy. And that energy is so strong that it will affect you. And I understand, intellectually that energy is there because, they say it's located on 2 ley lines. There's all the sacred geometry there. There is all that intentionality that every person who worked there put in there and tried to make, with their devotion. It's all packed in there. Because without a connection to that energy, we cannot build Auroville.
It's beyond religions. It doesn't have a form per se. Okay, there's still a symbol of the transparent crystal, or it should be a translucent crystal, of the mirroring of the inner being, that we are as clear as silent lake, that everything in the universe can reflect from us, that we are pure reflectors. So I see that in the crystal. The banyan tree is the community tree, the unity tree, and the Bodhi tree is the pendant to community, is the solitary tree. That's what Buddha said.
I think the banyan tree is really the center. The banyan is spiritual on many levels, and it's in the Indian culture, but also in many different cultures. It's a tree, and that whole family of trees is very connected to the mystical or to the divine or to some form of spiritual connection and both grounding and reaching to other realms. So I think that is a very central aspect of Auroville, and I think the beauty is that everyone understands it differently. It has a different meaning to each person, and in the same way the Matrimandir in that space and the banyan tree have a different meaning, but I think to have this physical center to center ourselves around as the Auroville community, I think it's very important.
Matrimandir is a collective space, and therefore everybody has a say. For us just to go within, it's not just about the collective, it's also about the individual. So it's this play between individual and the collective, which I guess Matrimandir kind of symbolizes it for us.
Matrimandir stands as a beacon of hope for the transformation of humanity.
I'd love to see young people, young Aurovillians and youth that are interested in Auroville to take part and actually to understand that already existing history of building together and working together. It should be a space for everyone.
It is something so unique and so powerful, and every person on the planet deserves to experience it if they can.